The movie opens with a man named Chris, who is released from prison after 15 years. Later, Chris goes to his wife Leonor's grave. Then he arrives near the house of the powerful Colombian gangster Vicente. Meanwhile, he sees Elisa, Vicente's daughter, being driven to college by guards. Chris follows Elisa's car and reaches her college. The next day, at a signal, Chris attacks the guards and beats them severely. Then he kidnaps Elisa. Vicente kills both his guards. Then he places a bounty on Chris. Vicente's right hand, Nick, calls El Corvo, who is a psychopathic killer and also an enemy of Vicente. He informs El Corvo that Vicente's daughter has been kidnapped by someone. As soon as Chris opens the car's trunk to take Elisa out, Elisa hits Chris's hand with a lug nut wrench. She then starts running into the forest. Chris also goes after her to catch her. Chris tells Elisa that he won't harm her. Then he takes a picture out of his pocket and gives it to Elisa to see, in which there are he, Vicente, and Elisa's mother, Leonor. Chris tells Elisa, "Your mother, Vicente, and I used to work together, and your mother made me promise that if anything happened to her, I would take you from Vicente." Elisa still doesn't agree to go with him. Then Chris takes out his gun and gives it to Elisa. Only then does Elisa agree to go with him. Chris stops at the gas station and starts filling the car with gas. Just then, Elisa gets out of the car and goes to some people, telling them that this man is kidnapping her. Chris fights with them and beats them up very badly. He then grabs Elisa and puts her back in the car. In the car, Chris tells Elisa that he is her real father and that Vicente must have killed her mother. Elisa tells Chris, "I'm very hungry, and if I don't eat, my temper goes high." Chris then takes Elisa to a restaurant. He feeds her. Meanwhile, Chris tells Elisa that she looks exactly like her mother. Just then, Gracias's right hand, Slick, arrives there with his goons. Chris fights Slick's goons. Slick grabs Elisa and takes her away from there. Chris overpowers all of Slick's goons and beats them severely. Then, he asks one of them for Slick's location, but he doesn't tell him anything. So, Chris picks up a cylinder and hits him on the face 3 times, causing him to reveal Slick's location. Slick brings Elisa to Gracias. Gracias tells Chris, "Your guardian has offered a substantial reward for your return." Gracias then has Elisa talk to Vicente on the phone. Elisa asks Vicente, "Did you kill my mother? The one who kidnapped me is saying he's my real father, and he also told me that you are my mother's killer." Hearing this, Vicente immediately hangs up the phone. Meanwhile, El Corvo also arrives there, and he shoots and kills all of Gracias's goons one by one. Just then, Chris also arrives there. Chris fights with El Corvo, and a very good fight ensues between them. However, El Corvo overpowers Chris. Just then, Elisa hits El Corvo with a car. Then, Chris and Elisa quickly flee from there. Chris tells Elisa, "Vicente took Leonor away from me and he framed me for theft and sent me to jail so he could get Leonor. One day, Leonor came to meet me in jail. She told me that she no longer wanted to stay with Vicente and wanted to run away from him because he controls her and mistreats her. Before she left, she told me that if anything happened to her, I should find our daughter and take her from Vicente." At night, Chris breaks into a car. Inside the car, he tells Elisa that he'll drop her off at her aunt's house, who lives in America. Elsa tells Chris, "I'm not going to my aunt's. I don't even know her. Vicente ruined your life, but he made mine better. He took great care of me." Just then, the car owner shows up. Chris gets out of the car, shows the car owner a gun, and scares him away. Just then, Elisa starts the car and drives away, leaving Chris behind. Meanwhile, El Corvo also arrives there and follows Elisa's car. Elisa stops the car at a phone booth and starts calling Vicente. Meanwhile, El Corvo arrives there. Just then, Elisa starts to run away, and that's when she spots Chris. El Corvo points a gun at Elisa's head. He tells Chris to put the gun down, which Chris does. El Corvo then ties Chris's and Elisa's hands. He beats Chris badly and is about to kill him when Elisa tells El Corvo, "Don't kill him, he's my real father." That's why El Corvo doesn't kill Chris. El Corvo makes Chris stand on a tire and puts a noose around his neck. Vicente finds Chris and takes him out of the noose. Chris angrily hits Vicente in the face with his head and tells him, "You killed Leonor." Inside the car, Chris asks Vicente, "Who is El Corvo?" Vicente told Chris, "I hired El Corvo for a job, but he wanted to go further and crossed every limit. So I decided to kill him. I shot him with a tranquilizer dart that could knock out even an elephant. Then my best 15 men took him to an isolated location. But when I got there, all my men were dead, and El Corvo's severed hand was cuffed to a railing. Now he wants revenge on me." El Corvo calls Vicente and tells him, "I'm at the same place where you tried to kill me." He also informs him that his right hand Nick was the one who told him about Elisa. Then Vicente shoots Nick for betrayal. Later, they reach the location. Vicente tells Chris, I'll go first, then you come. El Corvo grabs Vicente and takes him to Elisa. Elisa is tied with the crane's chain. Then El Corvo starts the crane. He then gestures to Vicente, showing him the saw. Vicente tries to stop the crane but fails. Meanwhile, Chris fights El Corvo and they both beat each other severely. El Corvo stabs Chris with a dagger, causing him to fall. Then he comes to Vicente and tells him to tell his daughter everything truth. Vicente tells Elisa, I was the one who gave El Corvo the contract to kill your mother because she was trying to separate you from me. As Elisa gets close to the crane's saw, Chris tells her to put her diamond locket into the saw. Elisa quickly takes out her diamond locket and puts it into the crane's saw, which causes the chain to break. El Corvo then tries to put Elisa into the crane's saw. Just then, Chris gets up and fights El Corvo. Meanwhile, Vicente strikes El Corvo in the throat with the saw. Then he pushes El Corvo from above, causing both of them to fall to their deaths. The next day, Chris and Elisa come to Leonor's grave, and the movie ends there.